participants are still joining. Meanwhile, kindly ensure that your microphones are muted for a smooth session. We are truly excited to have all of you with us today for what promises to be insightful and engaging learning experience. So, before we formally begin, let me ask you all something. When we think about corporate law, we often imagine contracts, transactions, boardrooms, and long working hours. But what truly empowers a corporate legal professional today? Is it only legal knowledge? Or is it also about communication skills, adaptability, networking, commercial awareness, and practical exposure? In today's rapidly evolving legal industry, becoming a successful corporate lawyer requires much more than just academic understanding. So, you may share your thoughts in the chat box. I repeat, you may share your thoughts in the chat box about what truly empowers a corporate legal professional today. Is it about legal knowledge or is it about communication skills, adaptability, networking, and all? Please share your thoughts in the chat box. Okay. Legal knowledge plus communication skills. Okay. Okay. Interesting perspectives. And that's exactly what today's session aims to explore. Today's session is organized by Education and Curriculum POD of the Collective Council, which focuses on creating structured, practical, and industry oriented learning experiences for law students and young professionals. To guide us today, we are honored to have with us Advocate Shubham Rumta sir. Advocate Shubham Rumta sir is a corporate law practitioner and company secretary with expertise in company law, regulatory compliance, corporate governance, and practical corporate advisory work. Through his professional experience and academic engagement, Sir has consistently guided students and young professionals in understanding the practical realities of corporate legal field. His approach combines with both theoretical clarity and practical industry insight, helping aspiring legal professionals build a strong understanding of corporate practice. We are truly delighted to have him with us today. So, without any further delay, I would now like to hand over the session to Shubham sir. Over to you, sir.
Hi, Kanak. Thank you so much. So, am I audible and visible to you guys?
Yes, sir, you are audible and visible.
So, hi guys, good morning. I'm so sorry कि Sunday की सुबह तुमको मेरे साथ बितानी पड़ रही है, but okay, you guys have signed up for it. So yeah. So since already Kanak has introduced me, so let's just not waste much time on it. So I'll just give you a brief introduction of mine. So like I'm Advocate Shubham Rungta. I'm currently working with Midcon Consultancy and Engineering Services Limited as an assistant manager in legal and compliance. And yeah, I have a very little much experience when it comes to practical side of the corporate, but impactful experience. So therefore, I might be in a position to guide you guys. So yeah, let's just begin with today's topic and today's presentation. I hope you guys will enjoy it. If कहीं पे भी आपको लग रहा होगा कि I'm going a bit dry or a bit boring, you just have that right to do thumbs up or do something like that and say it outrightly. So yeah, just bear with me, guys. So today's session is on today's session is on corporate laws basically. So yeah, just begin with the slides. So guys, have you ever wondered what is corporate law, like what laws are subsumed under corporate laws? Guys, this session should be very interactive. You can interact as much as you can. So just be yourself, be like, you can be an unfiltered version and nobody would judge you. And even if the silliest thing just put it on the chat box. No one would judge you. So according to you guys, just tell me what is corporate law, yeah, what laws are subsumed under corporate law, and like what's the role of the corporate law. Guys, I'm waiting for you on the chat box. So anyone would like to answer? So Divyanshi has said company law, competition law, labor laws, etc. can be included in corporate law. Corporate Sakshi has said corporate law governs the management of the company. Like Devanshi, you are correct to be honest. So like there are a n number of laws when we comes to corporate law, and yeah, and Sakshi, like corporate law governs management of the company. You are bit correct, but not fully correct. Yeah, corporate law governs the management of the company, but not fully. So see guys, what corporate law is. Basically there is no definition for corporate law. So any laws which are like applicable to company is corporate law. So the first and the foremost law which is applicable to company is company law. Of course, company law is the Bible when it comes to like corporate law. Then there are other laws like contract laws, because contract a company will enter into contract with various people. Then depending upon the size of the company, depending upon the business of the companies, other sectoral or other like regulatory laws will be applicable. Suppose if company is into business of, let's say let's the company says into business of telecom service provider, so telecom laws would be applicable. If the company is into insurance, then insurance laws would be applicable, and so on. Like this list will never end, to be very honest. So Keshav has said it helps in regulating company, its relationship with employees and other companies. It includes agreement like M&A, employer agreement, co-founder agreement. Keshav, yeah, correct. So if this is the case. So corporate law is a branch of law that governs the formation, management, operation, regulation, and dissolution of companies and corporation. Then it regulates the relationship between shareholders, directors, employees, basically the stakeholders. So if you'll wonder who stakeholders are, So anyone who has a direct or indirect interest with the company is the stakeholder. Stakeholder में मतलब क्या क्या cover जाएंगे? Shareholders will be covered, investors would be covered, directors would be covered, employees would be covered, company के creditors, company के directors, anything and everything. Like any person who has an interest with the company would be like defined and like would come under the umbrella term of stakeholders. And guys, government and government regulators also comes under stakeholder. If you will wonder why government or government regulators would come under stakeholders, like see, like I'm giving you a practical knowledge here. Like company has to like comply with n number of compliances, and how they comply with, they file various forms with the ROC. ROC is an adjudicating authority which regulates the functioning of a company, and ROC is formed by MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and again Ministry of Corporate Affairs is formed by Government of India. So either directly or indirectly, like ROC is an adjudicating authority and ROC is like a government authority only. So ROC has an interest with the company, because if company, like what if the company non-complies with anything? So therefore ROC बीच में आएगा, then ROC will adjudicate the matter, penalty लगाएगा, fine लगाएगा, शायद मतलब directors को या officers in default imprisonment में डालेगा, etc etc. So therefore government also comes into the picture, and therefore government falls under the umbrella term of stakeholders. So it's like that. Kanak, I'm not able to see the PPT.
Yes, sir, I'm checking on it.
Yeah. So guys, okay, it's here. So we'll have that interactive part बाद में. So what is the meaning and scope of corporate law? So corporate law refers to that branch of law that regulates formation management. I think we have covered this. So the main objective of corporate law is to ensure proper management, transparency, accountability, and smooth functioning of business organizations, or rather business we would rather company we would say. So like anyone has idea ki how it will ensure proper management, or what is transparency, what is accountability, like are you aware of those terms or what? Like if you guys are finding it a bit difficult to chat, like type on that chat box, so you can just raise your hand and speak one by one. And guys, मतलब PPT चलती रहेगी, but this should be an interactive session. The purpose of this session is to make you guys aware about what corporate laws are. So like anyone can raise their hand and speak. So Keshav has said by MOA and AOA. Okay. So Keshav, what by MOA and AOA? Like, what are you trying to imbibe here? And how do you think he like just tell me, like, what are you imbibing here? Why have you done MOA and AOA here? Samskruti has said Company Act determines that what is allowed in MOA and AOA, which governs the internal regulation as well as external relationship of the company. MOA, Keshav has said MOA main document which tells the object and scope, so the company can't go beyond this. Okay. So yeah, guys. So seeing your answers, like I can get that you guys have some basic idea or basic knowledge about like this thing. So let me tell you guys, there are some charter documents of a company, and charter documents are like MOA, Memorandum of Association, AOA, Article of Association, and the third charter document could be shareholders agreement. Okay, so we would cover MOA and AOA here. SHA is a very technical term, so we can take that on the further sessions. So MOA have 6 clauses. So the first clause is the name of the company, in which you just mentioned the name. The second clause is the situation clause of the company, like where the company is situated. Third one is the object clause of the company, like what are the objects of the company, like उस पे the company would mention anything and everything about their business. Okay, like company will do this, will do that, etc., 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 etc. And the other and there's some sub clause of this object clause is the this thing, uh, objects ancillary to main object. So basically, that is additional objects of the company. Where it has a share capital clause, then it has a liability clause, like that. Then AOA is Articles of Association. So AOA are the bylaws, or rather, which internally regulates the affairs of the company. It's like that. So like MOA sets the business of the company, like for what business purpose the company has been formed, and AOA sets the bylaws, like how the relationship of the company shareholder would be managed, how the relationship of the company, like the officers or directors of the company are going to be defined, then how they are going to, what I would suggest, like basically, like in a nutshell, it is the internal affairs. Like AOA defines AOA is the regulation which defines the internal affairs of the company. So one thing is AOA, any clauses mentioned in the AOA cannot supersede or cannot, violate the clauses of MOA, and any clauses of MOA cannot supersedes or violates the provisions mentioned in the Companies Act. So it's the relationship of that. Okay. So can we please move on to the next slide? So what are the objects of corporate law? So basically, the first and the foremost object is like it regulates the functioning of the company when it comes to like legal functioning of the company. Then it protects the shareholders of the company, shareholders, object stakeholders of the company. In corporate governance, it prevents fraud and mismanagement. It promotes business growth. So, see, we'll cover in very short. So, how it's going to regulate the company. So, basically, corporate laws are the laws which determines the like legal sanctity of a company. So, if you are not following them, or if you're not complying with them, then the regulators will kick you, to be very, very honest. Like they will like heavy penalty on you, or fine, or they can like they can ask your officer in default for an imprisonment, or like they can order for an imprisonment. Then second one is protection of stakeholders. So sometimes what happened is he like promoters of the company or directors of the company runs the companies according to their wishes and their whims. So it might be unfair for the minority shareholders, or any employee, or any person related, or any stakeholder related to that company. So company law, or rather company law basically have mentioned some rights. There are some provisions in company laws which gave minority shareholders or other stakeholders of the company right to prevent and protect themselves from such kind of situation. So, what are those rights? Like they have every shareholder has a right to vote. So, right to vote is a protection rights. Okay, then they have an option to file a class action suit. They have an option to file a operation and mismanagement suit, and many things are there. Okay, so guys, class action suits, operation and mismanagement. So these are pretty complex things. So we are not going to cover that in this thing, and like we might cover them on the further sessions as we go on. Then the third one is corporate governance. So basically, corporate governance are those like corporate governance is an umbrella term. Guys. So what is corporate governance? So it covers 4 5 things. First one is accountability. Like companies should be accountable of their actions of their steps. Second one is responsibility. They should be responsible of their actions. Like they should own it. Third one is transparency. So they should be transparent about what is happening in the companies and what is happening outside the company. The fourth one is like complying with the applicable laws. So basically, in a nutshell, corporate governance, like if I want to like define or subsume corporate governance in one line, would be if a company is complying with all the rules, regulation, laws applicable to them, then it is following the corporate governance practice of corporate governance. Okay. The fourth one is prevention of fraud and mismanagement. You can relate it with the protection of stakeholders, like I have already mentioned. For the prevention of fraud and mismanagement, class action suits, operation and mismanagement comes into the picture. Fifth one is promotion of business growth. So, if company is complying with all the laws, so they won't be having any legal risk, and they can do their business without having that tension in their mind, like, guys, like, oh shit, I have not complied with this law, I have not complied with that law. ROC might give us some penalty, or any other regulator might give us some penalty. So if you're complying with the laws, it will directly as well as indirectly promote your business like anything. Like, see, it also creates a good brand image and good public image, to be honest. If you're complying with the law, then and the brand and the general public knows about it, so भले तुम्हारा प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस का कॉस्ट ज्यादा होगा as compared to other product and services mentioned in the market, but if you're complying with all the laws, the customers will definitely buy your products or services only because they have that faith in you कि yeah, ये सारे laws के साथ comply कर रहा है. That is the goodwill which you're talking about. So can you please move on to the next slide? So, what are the functions? Corporate law performs several important functions in regulating. Guys, this has, like, if you guys want to read it, and you can ask, if you want to ask any doubt with respect to the slides which we have covered, and with respect to this slide, you can ask me. I'm giving you a time of 1 minute because, see, all these points have been already covered before. So yeah, it's 11:54, so you guys have time till 11:55. Any doubt, raise your hand, ask, or drop into the chat box. And if you'll excuse me to have a glass of water. Guys, be interactive. Okay, I can't see anything on the chat box. So yeah. So M&A basically, it deals with the restructuring and transfer of business through mergers, acquisition, demergers, amalgamation, and share purchase. So what a merger is. So let's take an example. There are two set of companies, company A, company B. So suppose like I'll take example of this this spectacles of mine. So there's one company, company A, who is into the business of manufacturing frame, and there's another company known as company B, who is in the business of manufacturing these lenses. Uh, Keshav has Sanskruti has said, I know mostly about corporate tax and M&A. I don't know much details. Okay. Keshav has said two or more companies merge and make one company. Acquisition means buying 100% of a company by another company. Keshav, are you sure that acquisition means only buying 100%? If I buy 25%, though, it won't classify as acquisition. Then Devanshi says two companies merge into one. The bigger one needs the smaller one. Now the smaller one has no existence, but working under the name of the bigger one. Okay, two companies combine to form another company, another in this one survives and other is also. Basically, Sakshi has given the most accurate answer. Two companies combined. So, guys, I'm asking you about the term what merger is, and you guys are using the word merge in your like explanation or definition. So, basically, you should have used like some other words. So, okay. So let's just coming back to the example. So there's company A who is in the business of manufacturing frames, and there's company B who is into the business of manufacturing these lenses. So they thought to diversify their business, to have a good market share, to bring synergies together, to have new customer set, and many other factors are there. So the factors which I've just mentioned are the factors why a company go for M&A. Okay. So these guys thought that we should combine and form a single entity. This action, this phenomenon of combining and forming a single entity is merger. Okay, so what can happen is the company. So I have explained to you guys merger. So what can happen is company A would like uh, you know uh, has absorbed the entire shareholding of company B, and company B dissolves, and all this entire business of company B get absorbed into the company A, and the shareholders of company like the erstwhile shareholders of company B has got some shares in company A. So this is the entire phenomena of merger. Okay. Then when we talk about acquisition, so see guys, acquisition like as Keshav said earlier, that two or more means buying 100% of a company by another company. So basically, acquisition is nothing. It's just like I myself is running a company. If I myself is running a company, I buy some shares of company B. That is an acquisition. So we cannot define some shares to be honest. So like if we are acquiring 1% of company B, that is also acquisition. If we are acquiring 100% of company B, that is also acquisition. It's like that. We cannot define some shares because it has been like in the law, there's no definition of some shares to be honest. So, but when we come to like listed entities, okay, so there is a regulation known as SEBI SAS regulation, substantial acquisition and takeover regulation, basically. So in that there are some limits have been mentioned. Okay, like for example, I'll take an example of NDTV and Adani Enterprises. So NDTV was also listed, Adani Enterprises also listed. So Adani bought more than 25% of shares of NDTV from the open market. This is a sheer case of acquisition. Okay, so when it comes to SAST regulation, so there's a condition mentioned over there, like if you are acquiring more than 25% of the target company यहाँ पे कौन है entity, and that target company is a listed entity. So you have to give a mandatory open offer to each and every shareholder of that company. So suppose Adani, like suppose I was the one who was holding 25% of 26% of the shares of NDTV at that point of time. Just imagine, okay. So Adani came to me and Adani said, Shubham, please sell your 26% to me. I was like, okay. So after this, like upon discussion, like after the negotiation and everything, Gautam Adani has to give an open offer of such acquisition to the remaining shareholders of NDTV as well. That is a law. I know I'm going a little bit off right. Just to explain you guys, I am just giving you this example. So it works like that. Okay. Then the third one is demerger. So what happened in demerger? Like taking that example only, like company B got merged into company A, like now, and they have formed the business is running under the name of company A only. Now, suppose the shareholders got into fight and they want to demerge the business, वापस उनको separate होना है, okay. So then from company A, जो ये लेंस बनाने वाला बिजनेस था, that will get demerged and get separated and company B will another form. So this phenomena is known as demerger. So basically merger means marrying, demerger means divorce in simple terms. Okay. Amalgamation is like one company is getting amalgamated or absorbed or merged into another one is amalgamation. Then share purchases, I am buying shares of another company is share purchases. Okay. I hope you guys are clear about what is merger, what is acquisition, what is demerger, what is amalgamation, and what is share purchase. You can show thumbs up. Guys, नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो बोल लो. Complex terms है, I understand. Alright, so can you guys give me an example of any mergers or any acquisitions which you guys have came across? Guys, quick. Does acquiring majority shares mean acquiring the company itself? Yeah. Acquisition upgrade is buying a good one, Keshav. Devanshi has said, does acquiring Devanshi again, like there's no definition about like how much shares you have to acquire. If you're acquiring 1% of the share, that itself is an acquisition. If you're acquiring majority shares as well, that is also an acquisition. So it's like that. So yeah, we'll move to the next slide. The other areas is insolvency and restructuring. So guys, sometimes it happens like what insolvency is. So insolvency is a status where company is not able to pay off its debt or pay off its liability. This is the actual definition of insolvency. Okay. So suppose company A was into huge losses and they were not able to pay their their creditors off. So they will the creditors of company A will go to NCLT and file an insolvency application to the NCLT. So basically, insolvency is governed under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of Bankruptcy Code 2016. It's a pretty new law and it's very evolving and it's a very good area to practice and good area to explore upon. So what happens is then the creditors of company A will file an insolvency application to the NCLT. The NCLT will follow a very lengthy process for the insolvency thing to happen. Okay. Then what will happen is after the admission of that application, NCLT will ask company A to bring identify some players or identify some businesses who are ready to revive you. So then they found a company B. So company B agreed that we will revive you. We will pay off all your debts, all your liabilities, and we will take all of your assets. And it's like that basically. So then what will happen if the revival proposal given by company B is acceptable by the creditors of company A? Then they will go to the NCLT again. They will give the revival proposal or revival plan to the NCLT. NCLT will check it. NCLT will not check their merits. It's just they will check whether this is legally feasible or not. If it is yes, then NCLT would order, yeah, company B can revive company A, and after that order, company A will lose their existence. All the assets, all the liabilities of company A will get transferred to company B, and company B will run the business of company A. So this is what insolvency is. And when it comes to second part, which is restructuring is like restructuring में कुछ भी हो सकता है. You can restructure your share capital, you can restructure your debt, you can restructure your business. In fact, M&A, like mergers and acquisition, demergers, amalgamation, is a form of restructuring only. This insolvency thing, like company A loses its existence, company B has revived it. This also comes under restructuring. So, guys, any doubt in this thing? Explain restructuring once again. Okay, so see, uh, suppose like how would I explain you? Like, this तुमको समझ में आया? See, company has two set of capitals, equity or preference. Okay, I'm talking about share capital only. Suppose company have a share capital of 5 crores. This may say 3 crores is of equity, 2 crores is of preference. So they want to restructure it. They want to restructure it in a way like the equity would be 2.5 crore and pref would be 2.5 crore. So when they will do this reclassification, this is known as reclassification. So when they will reclassify their share capital, this will also form under restructuring. This is called equity or like share restructuring. Second one is debt restructuring. So what will happen is like suppose company has some debentures in their balance sheet. They have so they thought to pay off all the debentures, or they thought to redeem all the debentures. So if they pays the debenture holders of the money which they owe to the company, that will amount to debt restructuring. Okay. Now merger, what happens in merger is like one company gets merged into another. We are taking that example of the company A and company B. So like suppose company B gets dissolved. So company B has been restructured. It gets dissolved. It has merged into the company A. Likewise, it happens with amalgamation. It happens with demergers. So Keshav has asked, is changing the object in MOA can call restructuring? No, Keshav. And honestly, if you want to alter your MOA or if you want to change any of the objects of MOA, it is a very lengthy process because you have to take shareholders approval, you have to take ROC approval, then you have to take NCLT's approval. So no, it is not restructuring. Yeah, please move on to the next one. So the third aspect is corporate litigation. So guys, as you guys are aware about, like I just told you, like class action suits, then operation mismanagement. So basically, these are the area of litigation for a corporate lawyer. Insolvency and bankruptcy code is also an area of litigation for corporate lawyers. So, like you can represent any class of shareholders, any class of stakeholders through GORA. Which courts can the creditor can go? They have to go to NCLT. If you're talking about IBC only, so they have to go to NCLT only. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, this corporate litigation. So if you guys you as lawyers, the shareholders of a company can come to you that represent my matter in suppose there are minority set of shareholders. They are not happy with the decisions taken by the majority shareholders. So minority shareholders are coming to you like, please represent our matter in NCLT for operation and mismanagement, or they are filing a class action suit. So it's an area of it's a good area to practice, to be honest. Then company itself cannot, or shareholders cannot itself go to the NCLT. They need a lawyer there. They need a company secretary over there. But trust me when I say this, I have seen the market. Lawyers kills it when it comes to representation skills. Okay, like nothing against anyone, but lawyers have that leverage and have that advantage to represent in front of any tribunal way better than any other professions. Okay. So, what areas are there for corporate litigation? So, company law, of course, IBC, of course, FEMA, like you can represent your matter in front of RBI, like adjudicating authority of RBI, SEBI, like SEBI laws, then like this IRDAI, TRI, like that. So that comes under corporate litigation. Please move on to the next slide. So private equity and venture capital. So it is a very interesting, interesting area of corporate law. So as I have already mentioned about mergers, demergers, acquisitions, and all. So there are various private equity fund or rather venture capital fund. Are you guys aware of Shark Tank? Please do a thumbs up. I'm sure that everyone is aware of Shark Tank. Suppose like Aman Gupta has invested some 100 crores in some of the company or some of the brand which has come in the which featured in the Shark Tank. So Aman Gupta is representing a private equity fund, or either he would be representing a venture capital fund. So that is PEVC. Like if a fund is acquiring some shares into some company and they are bringing their expertise. अगर अमन गुप्ता किसी कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है, so he is bringing his expertise. He will give his time to that company. Yeah, okay. तुम्हारा लॉजिस्टिक्स का प्रॉब्लम है, तुम्हारा सप्लाई चेन का प्रॉब्लम है, sit, talk, sort, and we'll solve it. So it's like that. So basically, private equity and venture capital, like it is a case of an acquisition only. It's just any fund which is funding or which is providing funding to any of the companies will fall under PEVC transaction. Okay, guys, any doubt about this? Okay, please move on to the next slide. Banking and finance. So suppose यार पैसे हर कंपनी को लगता है. ओके, पैसे वो किससे मांगे जाएंगे? Either shareholders or they will issue debentures or they will go to a bank or any financial institution. So shareholders को हटाओ, debenture holders को हटाओ. If they are going to a bank or a financial institution, so you as lawyers are in a better position to understand the project for which the company wants to raise funds from the bank. So you can do a job of project financing. So what you will do is you will be a liaison officer for the company, and you will be liaising with the banks. Okay, about कितने पैसे चाहिए, क्या पर्पस है, हाउ विल यू रिस्ट्रक्चर इट. बैंक तुमको फ्री में पैसे तो देगी नहीं. बैंक आइदर तुमसे इंटरेस्ट चार्ज करेगी या फिर बोलेगी आप अपने थोड़े से शेयर्स दो. शेयर्स मतलब आई वुड नॉट से शेयर, कोई भी सिक्योरिटी दो, वेदर इट कैन बी डिबेंचर्स, एनी फॉर्म ऑफ डिबेंचर्स, whether some preference shares, whether some equity shares, or something like that, something of value which would protect the interest of bank. Okay, so it's a very good area to practice because, as you guys are aware, India is a developing country. Real estate transactions, infrastructure transactions are going on here and there. Infrastructure projects are going on here and there. Real estate projects are going on here and there. सारे पैसे banks और financial institutions से आते हैं. And when it comes to banking and finance, it is always like 90% it is linked with a real estate transaction or an infrastructure transaction. Okay, so there you can come and do wonders. So it's banking and finance. Please move on to the next slide. 6th one is capital market. So capital market basically governs IPO market. So सब कंपनी का सपना होता है लाइक जो नेसेंट स्टेज में है, स्टार्टअप्स में है कि लाइक या विल डू बिजनेस, विल गेट अस शेयर्स लिस्टेड ऑन any stock exchanges, whether Bombay Stock Exchange or a national stock exchange or both of them. So this listing into stock exchanges. So what lawyers will do is they will draft red herring prospectus for the companies. This is the job of a capital market lawyer. Like if a company wants to go to public, like wants to go like for listing. So they will draft the prospectus for it. If a company is already listed and they want to further raise any capital, they are doing like raising capital from any big investors like mutual fund or QIBs or like that. So there as well. Basically, like I'll get capital market. The job of the capital market lawyer is to help the company to raise funds from investor. That investor could be general public when we talk about IPO, or that investor could be any, like if the company is listed, then any mutual fund investor, any like institutional buyer or like that. So it's capital market, like there's always a vacancy in this thing because n number of companies are getting listed. They need n number of lawyers who can help them draft those prospectus. Please move on to the next slide. Corporate governance. So basically, see guys. So usually what happens is, as I've said earlier in one liner, corporate governance means a company is complying with all the laws, rules, regulation applicable to them. So usually what happens is corporate governance is a practice for a company secretary, because like company secretary excel those things because they only study about corporate governance. You guys as a lawyer, it would be a very difficult for you to grab a good hold on corporate governance. But if in your 3 years LLB course or 5 years LLB course, whatever the case may be, if you are like planning to do CS simultaneously, you can. Nothing like that. I myself has done that. Okay, if you bring that dual degree LLB with CS, so yeah, you can have a good career in corporate governance as well. But unfortunately, for corporate governance, companies look for company secretaries only. Like 99% they will look for company secretaries, 1% they will look for lawyers. It's like that. And 1% lawyers which they look at, like you should have those skills to comply with all the laws applicable to the company. See, matlab, we won't go into much detail because like board structure, duties of directors, audit committee, compliance mechanism, these are some heavy concepts, and a 1 hour of a session like won't suffice the intent. So it's just these are some, some laws which are some compliances which are there in the Companies Act or any rules related to the Companies Act. The company has to comply with all those rules and all those provisions, and therefore it comes under the purview of corporate governance. So, and we as company secretaries, I'm an advocate as well as I'm a company secretary. We as company secretaries, in the entire span of 4 years, we have studied about this only. So we know what happens. So it's like that. Please move on to the next slide. Contract Act. So Contract Act is basically nothing. It's an Indian Contract Act governs the Contract Act. So it is nothing. It's just depending upon the business of the company, depending upon the day-to-day affairs of the company enters into n number of contracts with their suppliers, their vendors, their employees, their like service provider, anything like that. So see, there are two laws for the Contract Act thing. The agreement or the contract which you will make is that should be made as per the Indian Contract Act. But for example, suppose the agreement which I'm making is a shareholders agreement. A foreign investor wants to buy some shares of my company. I'll enter into a shareholders agreement and a share purchase agreement with them. Simultaneously, I have to ensure FEMA laws as well while drafting those share purchase agreement or shareholders agreement, because that investor is a foreign one. So two laws are there which are applicable. So the applicable law is FEMA, and the governing law here is the Indian Contract Act because it's a contract or it's an agreement. So it works like that. Please move on to the next slide. FEMA. So FEMA is guys, one of my favorite topics again. So Foreign Exchange Management Act. So basically, I'll give you a very good snapshot about it. If a foreign investor is investing into a business, or if you are investing your money into some foreign business, then the FEMA would be applicable to you. If a foreign investor is investing into a business, that will fall under FDI, Foreign Direct Investment. And if I am investing into some business which is there in foreign, that is ODI, overseas direct investment. These are the two broad terms under FEMA, and SARE, FEMA rules, laws, regulation falls under these two broad concepts only. Okay, so it's like that. And for the FEMA, the adjudicating authority is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. If you are not complying with FEMA laws, the penalty would be huge. It goes like in crores, and you cannot mess with this law because RBI is very stringent, very vigilant, and very strict when it comes to FEMA. Because see, global currency is dollar. Price fluctuate like anything. Currently, the dollar price is somewhere around 95.61. Like $1 equals to 95.61 rupees. अगर आप उससे comply मतलब FEMA के law से comply नहीं करोगे, so आप पैसे कहाँ से दोगे? Because अगर आपको बोल सामने वाला मतलब उनकी country है, suppose there is a US investor, उनकी country में बोल दिया कि yeah, you can charge $1 million fine from that particular person or that particular company. Where will you bring those? That's why, like, from where will you bring those? So that's why RBI is very stringent when it comes to FEMA. Because like you are representing India in global level. So it's like that. Please move on to the next one. Competition law. So guys, Competition Act 2002, it is a very cute law because like it is a very short and sweet and very simple law. So what happens in Competition Act is basically it is a act to promote fair trade practices in the market. So like adjudicating authority has been formed under Competition Act, which is Competition Commission of India. The role of Competition Commission of India is to check whether the players, like whether the businesses or the players in the market are ensuring fair trade practices or not. They are not abusing any of the privileges or any of the position which they have. In Competition Act, there are three things which the Act governs. First one is anti-competitive agreement. The second one is abuse of dominance position. Third one is combination. Anti-competitive agreement are those agreements which have some appreciable adverse effect in the market. Okay. Abuse of dominance position. So let's take an example. When it comes to this telecom industry, Jio and Airtel are the one who are dominant players in the market. Abhi Airtel, like 2 months back, they have increased their price of 84 days ka pack. Okay. So अगर वो आर्बिट्रली अपना प्राइस फ्रॉम 800 या 900 जो भी था उससे वो 1500 में ले जाता विदाउट एनी लॉजिक, सो इट इज एन अब्यूज ऑफ डोमिनेंट पोजीशन बिकॉज फ्रॉम दैट 800 to 1500 जो नॉर्मल कंज्यूमर्स हैं देयर इंटरेस्ट आर गोइंग टू बी अफेक्टेड. वो 800 से 859 किया, उसने उसका लॉजिक बताया कि हमने क्यों किया, दैट इज ओके, दैट इज नॉट एन अब्यूज ऑफ डोमिनेंस पोजीशन. डोमिनेंट पोजीशन में आप हो, that is okay, but if you're abusing that dominant position, that is not okay. Okay, then the third one is combination. So basically what happens is ki, like if two companies are coming together, if two companies are combining, if two companies are getting merged, and if they are like breaching the threshold limit, I'm like the share capital of the company or the turnover of the company, like Competition Act prescribes some threshold limit for the share capital and turnover of the company. If suppose you guys are breaching it, like if you are crossing that limit, then you have to take permission from the CCI, that is Competition Commission of India, before combining a business. Classic example, Vodafone Idea, then PVR Inox. It's like that. Kanak, PPT. Guys, any doubt till now?
No, sir.
Okay, cool. Then SEBI. So basically, SEBI laws are those laws which are applicable to listed entity only. So there are n number of rules, n number of regulations like SEBI SST regulation, which I have talked about. It happens when one company is acquiring some stake in a listed entity of another listed entity. Then there's a SEBI LODR regulation, like the listed entity has to disclose various compliances, like disclose various activities about their businesses to SEBI in advance or after some time when they have undertaken those activities. Okay. Then we have PIT, like prohibition of insider trading. So, suppose company financials from the if you are able to know about the financials of the company before it is getting published into the market, so you can very much make out like, yeah, if for example today is 17th of May, okay, I know about the financials of Reliance, example Reliance का result 30th May को out हो रहा है, so I have a good time man, और I have 13 days, मैं उस पे Reliance के shares को बार बार purchase करूंगा, sell करूंगा, purchase करूंगा, sell करूंगा, because from the financials which I have got, I can easily make out whether the price of the shares of Reliance will go up or go down when the financial will go public. Okay, so to govern these kind of activities, prohibition of insider trading is like SEBI regulation on prohibition of insider trading is there. Okay, and there are like depository participant regulations, sweat equity shares regulations, and number of regulations are there in SEBI. But SEBI regulations are only applicable to a listed entity. Okay, so SEBI has a regulation of mutual fund regulation. So those regulation will be only applicable to those who are having a business of mutual funds. Okay, it works like that. Can you please move on to the next slide? RBI rules. So basically, all the banking companies, all the NBFCs, all the financial institutions or financial companies has to comply with the RBI rules, RBI regulation, and RBI laws in order to run their business smoothly. So basically, for the NBFCs, RBI has scale-based regulation. For the banking companies, they have Banking Act, okay, Banking Regulation Act. Then FEMA I have already covered. Like for this FDI, ODI thing, RBI has FEMA. So it's like that. So these are the areas which RBI governs. Please move on to the next slide. IFSC is a very interesting topic, to be very honest. IFSC is International Financial Service Center. So what has happened is there's a GIFT City you guys are aware of. If you are not, then let me tell you. There's a city known as GIFT City, GIFT, Gujarat International Financial Trade City, to be honest. Okay, and it has been established in the outskirts of Ahmedabad. So, and any business which is there in the GIFT City have to comply with all the laws which is applicable to them, but they have to comply with the laws of IFSCA as well, because it is a SE zone, a kind of SEZ zone for those business. Like if you're running business into that, so आपको बहुत सारे like चीजों में concession है, like all the utilities which are availing, then this banking interest, then this n number of things are there to be very precise. So all the lucrative offers, all the incentives which the GIFT City IFSC provided to various businesses to come and run business from there, the Stock Exchange of Singapore has shut their office in Singapore and has shifted its stock exchange into GIFT City, and now it has been termed as GIFT Nifty. Okay, from IFSC, basically IFSC is a hub where global financial transactions are happening, to be very honest. Okay, so some players are there who are into the business of cryptocurrency there, tokenization there, some heavy terms you can like, but I'm sure you guys are aware what cryptocurrency, what tokenization is. If you are not, then guys, please start reading. Okay. It's like so it's IFSC is that. Can you please move on to the next slide? SEZ is a special economic zone. So SEZ, there's an act, Special Economic Zone Act 2005, and there are rules pursuant to it, which is like Special Economic Zone Rules 2006, and various amendments have gone on. So what happens is government identify one particular area as an SEZ zone, and they will offer n number of incentives and lucratives to the businesses, to the players. He was come into that zone and run your business. So like in Pune, SEZ zones are like, I'm sure many of you are not from Pune, but just let me tell you, there's a place known as Kharadi, it's an SEZ zone. There's a place known as Hinjewadi, it's an SEZ zone. So what happens is like I'm giving incentives. The first and the foremost incentive is tax benefit. If you're running your business in SEZ, 10 साल के आपका tax exempt है. No tax on the profit which you're making. Okay. Then second, depreciation में आपको बहुत सारे benefits मिलते हैं. Utilities में बहुत सारे benefits मिलते हैं. All the loans which you get from the bank, उसमें मिलते हैं. Interest amount में मिलता है. Like n number of things. The only objective behind, you know, designating one area as an SEZ is to develop that area. Okay, like because if big companies or big business owners will open their offices into that SEZ area, so the people living around that SEZ area will get employment. So this is the motive behind SEZ, and of course, if you're providing some sort of benefits to the SEZ players, they will spend more time in bringing good innovation, good innovative products. So that is also an agenda. Can you please move on to the next slide? So role of a corporate lawyer. So all the laws which I have just mentioned, उससे इर्द गिर्द मतलब you can do drafting, okay, basis those laws. You can advise your clients, you can advise companies on those laws. Then you can ensure compliances, like in compliance, like companies complying with all the laws which we just mentioned. You can handle mergers and amalgamation. You can conduct due diligence. The due diligence is nothing, just a background check before any restructuring, like restructuring as in merger, amalgamation, demerger, or acquisition. So company will undergo due diligence to check whether the background of that another company with whom the company A would enter into a transaction is good or not. Okay. And if it is good, then fine. If it's not good, then it becomes a leverage point for the company A to negotiate the price of that deal. Okay. Then managing corporate disputes, of course, litigation में what scope है, advising on corporate governance, assisting in restructuring and insolvency matters. Please move on to the next slide. Dhruv Vora, can this things litigator person can do what things? The things which were just mentioned in the previous slide. Yeah, of course you can. There's no bar on it. Skills required for corporate law. So guys, like honestly speaking, like from my personal experience, the most important skill is your research, okay, ability to read, ability to interpret the law or the statutes which is there, okay, which are there. Then of course these three things are the most basic thing, and anything which is pursuant to these things are drafting. Your drafting skills, your reading skills, your research skills, and your interpretation skills should be bang on. This is the most basic skill. These are the most basic skills which is expected from a corporate lawyer. Can you please move on to the next slide? Professional skills, like you should be soft spoken to be very precise, and you should be commercially aware. Commercially aware means what is happening into the market. You should be aware. Okay, your general knowledge should be bang on. Okay, then you should have negotiation skills. Negotiation comes into the picture when you are dealing with some transaction. So मैंने आपको due diligence का भी बताया, like if the report of company B is not good, if it is not positive, then you have a leverage point to negotiate the deal price. That is a negotiation skill. Communication skills, of course. Analytical thinking, you should be able to think and analyze the situation then and there. Okay. Then of course problem solving ability should be there. Please move on to the next step. Technical skills, like see, the skills are something which comes, like technical skills are something which comes over a period of time. But if you are in a habit of reading, if you are in a habit reading news, okay, and if you are a habit in the reading of commercial news, then you if you inculcate those habits from today onwards, then trust me when I say this, once you will graduate from your respective law schools, you will be ahead of your colleagues or your fellow mates, to be very honest. Understanding of finance and business, it is must, because उन्हीं से ही lawyers का धंधा चलता है. Secondly, knowledge of corporate compliance procedures. Yeah. Please move on to the next one. So, what are the challenges usually we are going to face? For like the most fearful challenge is AI. Guys, trust me when I say this. I have seen people getting laid off from the law firms just because of the AI. Like there are n number of AIs like Julius Fair, Harvey, Lucio, Locky. Like just it's a chat GPT for lawyers. You just have to give the correct prompt. That will do the research work for you. That will do the drafting work for you. यही तो काम होता है corporate lawyers का. So you shouldn't be fearful about it. It's just you should be aware how to leverage those AIs. And unfortunately, the subscription of those AIs are in lakhs. So I could not show you. If I would have those subscription, I would have shown you कि वो क्या काम करता है, कैसे काम करता है. Okay. Then second challenge is client and market challenge. See guys, there are enough lawyers in the market. It's just you have to stand against all of them, and you have to go for like you have to pitch yourself. You have to prepare some elevators pitch. Like suppose you are roaming with your friends, or you are just having some good time with your family, friends in a cafe, club, or anywhere, and you get to meet some prospective client. You should be aware to how to you should know how to pitch yourself in those 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. These are the these pitches are known as elevator pitch. Like up then and then आप pitch कर रहे हो कि yeah, I can do this for you, I can do that for you. Okay, so I have got my first client by using that technique only. Like I was sitting in a cafe. There was a startup owner of Pune. I knew him, but he doesn't know me. And fortunately, I was aware that he was having some problem with his legal thing. So I just went on to him. I was like, hi man, I heard that you are having this, you are facing this issue, etc., etc. And we clicked, and within 2 minutes, I got that client, and that person is still my client. So yeah, it works. Then operational and management challenges. Basically, guys, you have to be organized. Like operational challenge में क्या है? You have to be organized. आप अगर अपने laptop चला रहे हो, तो you should be you should be foldering all your data in a very presentable and a good manner. Then if you're running a law firm or a consulting firm, then talent acquisition, like acquiring the correct talent is a challenge. Then regulatory complexity, like regulations are changing on a daily basis. It's an opportunity as well as it's a challenge, because आज जो regulation है और आज आपको एक हफ्ता लगा उस regulation को पढ़ने में, समझने में, prepare करने में. एक हफ्ते के बाद वो regulation ही change हो गई या हट गई. Your time gets wasted. You cannot do anything about it, but it's a challenge. Okay, and of course, work-life balance for a lawyer is a myth. You cannot have a work-life balance for, I guess, first 10 to 12 years. So that's a challenge. Can we please move on to the next one? Corporate governance in India. So guys, again, in a very, 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 very short form, corporate governance is nothing. It's just complying with all the laws which are applicable to company. The laws which applicable to company would be depending upon the business and the sector in which the company is functioning. Okay, please move on to the next one. So it covers transparency, accountability, fairness, responsibility, ethical conduct. We have covered this. Please move on to the next one. Dhruv Bora, can we do both litigation and corporate? Dhruv, you can do, but you cannot. You won't be having that amount of time to do good in both. फिर ऐसा होगा, you are not good in litigation and you are not good in corporate. You can only do one thing at a time, to be very honest. Okay, Why corporate governance is important? It protects the shareholders' interest because company will comply with all the applicable laws. It increases investor confidence. It will reduces the chances of corruption and fraud. It will enhances the company reputation. As I already mentioned, your goodwill will increase. Please move on to the next one. Career opportunities in corporate law. You can be a corporate lawyer, you can be a legal advisor, you can be a compliance officer, you can be an in-house counsel, you can be a legal associate, company secretary, consultant, or lecturer. I want to enter in corporate law, but law school has taught us only the basic company law. It is advisable to me to do LLM in corporate law, to do CS instead. Uh, Sanskriti, it depends on the time which you want to invest. To be honest, LLM can be done in 1 year or maximum 2 years. But for the CS, it is going to take your bare minimum 3.5 to 4 years because you have to do compulsorily 21 months articleship or internship. Once, like after that only you will get your degree. So it's a tough choice to make, but it depends on the time which you have. Yeah. Can you please move on to the next slide? Courses for corporate lawyer, BLLB, BBLLB, BCom LLB, then you can do LLM, you can do company secretary, you can do various diploma certificates, all like that. Please, next one. Importance of corporate law in India, guys. These are some, like, honestly, these are some bookish thing. I'll explain you, but it's always bookish. Economic growth, industrial development, protection of investors, promotion of fair trade practices, regulation of corporate conduct. It helps maintain discipline and accountability in the corporate sector. Economic growth, if the company is complying with all the laws, and so their chances of getting punished by the regulators would fall. So unnecessary cost of legal thing wouldn't increase. They would be having more money to invest into their business. If they invest more money into their business, the businesses will grow, and therefore the economy will grow. Industrial development, it is just connected with the economic growth only. Protection of investors, if the company is complying with all the laws which are applicable to them, then the investors would be happy because their rights are not going to be tampered or hampered. Promotion of fair trade practices, again, connected point. Regulation of corporate conduct, again a connected point. It helps maintain discipline, accountability in the corporate sector. Yeah, basically, if you're complying with all the laws, all the corporate laws, there would be a discipline into the corporate sector. See, guys, corporate laws cannot cover entire thing. Like, 96% of the things are covered under the corporate laws, but there are 4% or 2% or 3% of things which are not covered in any of the law. So what happens is, you see the industry practice, you see how the big players are doing things, how the big players are disclosing their things about their business, and that's how you will also disclose things about your business. So it creates a sense of discipline and responsibility and accountability. Where the laws are not there, you go to the industry practices. Yes, can you please move on to the next one? So basically, this is the end of the PPT. So corporate law is an essential branch that regulates companies and business organizations. In short, it governs from the birth of the company till the death of the company. Birth means incorporation, death means winding up or dissolution of the company. So from this to that, anything which a company do has to, in terms of legal, is corporate law. It's as simple as that. So guys, you have 4 minutes. You can ask anything which you want, or else we'll wrap up the session.
Uh, sir, before we start the questions tour for the students, we'll have few curated questions before we have few curated questions which I'll be presenting to you.
Sure, sure.
So our first question is, sir, what does the transition from law school to a corporate law firm actually feels like for a fresher?
Sorry.
Yeah, I can repeat. What does the transition from law school to a corporate law firm actually feels like for a fresher?
Uh, to be very honest, law school is like your home, and this law firm would be your, I would say, it would be a war zone for you. To be honest, I'm not bragging. I'm just giving you the practical insight. Law school, you will be going to law school for like 6 hours, 8 hours a day. But when it comes to uh, a law firm, you have to grind like anything, like partners. Dhruv, is it cracking now? Alright. So,
Uh,
can
Sir,
you,
we
can,
have
can
one
you just
question.
can you just mute yourself for a minute? Thank you. So, when we talk about law firm, so law firm is a place like it's like kind of war zone. People are always in a hurry in law firm because they have to satisfy the needs of the client, and you will work like 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's a law. That's a law firm. You will get paid brilliantly. You will get to learn n number of things, and you would feel like, कि, guys, ये क्या हो रहा है मतलब, and you will see yourself growing there, like overall development, personality, your knowledge, your appearance, your talking, your communication, and everything. So, Kanak, you can have your next question.
So second question is how important are networking and LinkedIn in securing corporate law opportunities today?
So, guys, I've already mentioned my experience with you. Like, I just gone to a cafe. Okay, I saw a guy over there. I knew he has a startup. Okay, I just, without any hesitation, I just said hi to him. I said, "How are you?" Like, I had a conversation of like 5 odd minutes, and I got my first client. To be honest, so networking here is like you should network as much as you can because you wouldn't know which network of yours will fetch you a client, okay, or which network of yours will fetch you a good job. It's it works like that. Networking is very, very, very important. You shouldn't be restricting yourself with some, events organized by law school. Go to startup events, go to incubators events, go to events organized by various law firms. Go there, attend those, gain some knowledge, make networks. It's like that.
What qualities make a student stand out during corporate law internship?
So the qualities would be like you should be aware of what is happening in the market. Guys, see, you are not expected to know everything when it comes to law, but you are expected to know like more than 75% of the things about the things happening into the market. Like when I was interviewing with DSK Legal, so I was not that sound when it comes to law, but I was sound about what is happening into the market, and that thing helped me grab the opportunity of working with DSK Legal. So it's like that. So that is the most basic skill which you should have, and of course, all the technical skills, all the soft qualities, soft skills are important. But the thing is, you should be aware of what is happening into the market, and you should be able to communicate it properly, and you should be able to present yourself properly.
Uh, Thank you, sir, for the clarification. We have a question from Mamta Pasunti. What kind of internships help most for entering corporate law firms or in-house legal?
So, see, Mamta, like I'll be very honest. Law firms does not hire interns of 3 years and below. Like if you're in your third year or like first year, second year, there are very, very, very rare chances you would be able to fetch that. And there's a background disturbance from your side. Thank you. So there's a very rare chance that they would hire you, but they hire from your fourth year onwards. So before that, it's just do as much as internship you can. There's no set rule or set formula to enter into corporate law firm or to enter into a law firm having a corporate team of the law firm, you have to do n number of internships with NGOs or any litigator or any or with any chambers and all. It's nothing like that. It's just you should be aware of this. Like you should have those skills, to be honest. Then we have another question from Shreya. Our college GGV has no placements and I want to enter into corporate law firm. I'm very eager to be in and grow. Please, can you help me to secure an income? Shreya, I don't think so. This is the right platform to question this thing. I'm so sorry. What mistakes do fresh law graduates commonly make during internships or interviews? They just fumble. They think that they don't know anything, but trust me, guys, believe in yourself. Practice your communication skills. That is the only thing that will fetch you a good internship. Of course, apart from all the relevant skills, like I just mentioned, that you should be aware of what is happening in the market and some basic legal knowledge as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable clarifications. It is really very appreciable. Now,
Thank you so
to
much.
help participants understand the learning opportunities and resources available through our platform, I would like to now invite Advocate Yashwardhan Rani, sir, who is the founder of the Collective Council, to briefly explain the Elements platform, available courses, and upcoming learning initiatives. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kanak. I'm actually really glad so many of you all have made it on a Sunday morning, and I believe it's been worth your time. Every student that has spent maybe few minutes with Shubham for mentorship, or maybe attended his webinars and learned from him, has always said that it's been worth the time. Also, I believe you all have got a clearer concept about the corporate career that is there, which is a booming career, and a lot of people actually want to get into corporate law, into in-house roles, but are actually confused from where to start or karna ke. So we at the Collective Council here are trying to bridge the gap. आपको जो बनना है, what you are planning to get into, what you are seeing as the booming career, और आपको वहां तक पहुंचाने के बीच का जो gap है, we are trying to fill it through the Collective Council. Here we are building an ecosystem, not just another tech platform, not just another courses or webinars, or just let's say some teaching modules, but a complete ecosystem, a complete system जहाँ पे आपको जिस करियर में जाना है, you get a clarity to it, you get learning and educational practical modules about it, then you get to implement and apply these skills that you have learned and the clarity that you have gotten into a job simulation, into a task wherein you'll put it and understand कि क्या मैंने जो सीखा है, is it actually helping me out. Now, for every field that is there, every domain in law, the Collective Council has created accelerator program. So this accelerator program is combination of a mentorship session with a mentor of your choice, a job simulation, which is application of your learning, and a practical learning course. Now, regarding the corporate accelerator that we have, Shubham here with us has taken a lot of time actually. So he's, as all of you all know, he's an in-house counsel. He has managed to create this amazing practical learning modules for you, wherein you all could get a deeper understanding and develop the exact skills. So जो skills शुभम सर आपको सिखाएंगे, उसके लिए assessments होंगी, and you'll actually get to try and test out कि क्या मैं जो सीख रहा हूँ या सीख रही हूँ, am I actually applying it? Am I getting it right? Then there is also mentorship session available where you can talk to lawyers from in-house counsel, from corporate governance, from CAs, from chartered accountants, practicing on the intersection of commerce and law. All of these people where you could talk to them personally, have a one-on-one discussion with them, get all your queries completely clarified at every point where you are stuck. Clarity is the most important thing, I feel, and as a law student, this is a major problem that many of y'all have been facing, many of us had faced during our initial years of law school, wherein पूछे किसको, अगर चलो आप जनरेशन लॉयर हो, आप you can ask around, you can get a help of it. But if you're a first generation lawyer, you have nobody to call to. That is why we are bringing in first generation lawyers who have gone through the same state, gone through your journey. That is why at the collective council we say कि each one of your journey is at least lived once here before. किसी ने तो आपकी journey जी हुई है. They know the loopholes, they know the mistakes, and that is why they are here to guide you. So in the accelerator program, coming back to it, we have a mentorship session with such amazing mentors who know your journey. Then we have a wonderful corporate course called as Draft Pro, which Shubham sir has designed, and it's completely immersive experience. It is not just watching videos and listening and going ahead. It is a complete immersive experience where you will be doing task activities and tests. After that, you have the job simulation, which is endorsed by Bafna Cyber Juris, one of the India's leading cyber law firm. And then there are various other law firms that have endorsed this whole complete accelerator program. So I'm really looking forward to you all to get registered into this. We are closing enrollments coming Friday. Make sure that you take and avail this benefit that is there, because again, we are not just another course, we are a complete ecosystem that will take you from one point to the next point of your career. Yeah, that's all from my side. Looking forward to see many of you at the accelerator program. It's completely simple. I'll put a link on the WhatsApp group that you all are there. You all can just click and register from there itself. The fee is very minimal compared to the quality and the efforts behind it, and the actual intention of making you all aware about what is happening in the industry. कौन से skill relevant है और कौन से skill सिर्फ CV और resume के लिए, right? I believe anybody you talk to will give you this advice कि certificates के पीछे मत भागो. Certificates में आप कितने भी, there is a limit. I guess Shubham sir would agree to this completely. कि when you enter into a corporate field as a fresher, they don't expect you to have a CV of 3 to 4 pages, right? But what many law students do is they just chase the certificates. अरे डालोगे कितना CV में, कितना डालोगे, कितना एक बुक बना दोगे CV की. There is one page. It does not matter कि आपने कितने सर्टिफिकेट्स गेन किए, आपने क्या सर्टिफिकेट गेन किए हैं. Does it have a value? Does it endorsed by some industry relevant law firms जो इस फील्ड में काम करते हैं? That is what matters. और वही चीजें will take you ahead, not just grabbing and roaming around with random certificates. So that's an advice coming from me as a first generation lawyer who was a first generation law student, and I faced almost every problem that you all have by now or you will. So that's all from my side. Thank you for joining once again. Thank you Shubham sir for being there as always and guiding the students. It's really glad all of y'all to see all of y'all. Stay connected to the community. The community link will be shared there. Also, there were internship questions that were there. The top performers of the accelerator program do get an offline and online internship, so that is one option. Other than that, from the collective council website portal, you can just go and check in the career section. There are a lot of opportunities available there, and you all can apply and take your career ahead. Thank you, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining the LMS platform and the learning opportunities available. As we have come to end of today's session, I would once again like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Shubham Lunta sir for sharing the valuable knowledge, experience, and practical insights with all of us today. I would also like to thank every participant for being such an attentive and engaging audience. We hope today's webinar helped you gain meaningful clarity about the corporate legal field and inspired you to continue building your professional journey with confidence. So, before we conclude, we request everyone to kindly fill out the feedback form that will be shared. Your feedback truly helps us improve and bring more meaningful sessions in the future. And now, before we leave, let's take a virtual group picture. So everyone, please turn on your cameras and give us your best smile. I request everyone to please turn on your cameras. Thank you so much everyone for joining with us today. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Good luck. Goodbye.